in a weekend assault on an IHOP employee. The next steps in the case as the Jefferson County DA's office gets involved. Plus, the trial begins for former Uvalde CISD officer Adrian Gonzalez. Prosecutors say he failed the victims at Robb Elementary, as the jury is expected to be selected today. And Venezuela's president will face a U.S. judge today after being captured. Hear from groups in the Houston area speaking out on both sides of the issue. 12 News Daybreak starts now. Thanks for waking up with Daybreak on 12 News Plus. I'm Tia Johnson. We begin with breaking news. A fatal crash has been reported near Highway 124 and Galding Road. That's between Cheek and Finette. Details are limited right now, but we don't know what led up to the wreck, but we do know 2 cars were involved. Our 12 News crew is heading to the scene. If you're traveling in that area, expect significant traffic delays. We'll keep you updated on air and online as we learn more. Switching gears now to get a first look at your weather with meteorologist Jeff Gerber taking a live look at Orange, where it is very foggy. Jeff, it seems like as the sun rises, it gets worse to see out there.
Well, at least over in the Orange area and up towards Jasper, we're seeing some pretty thick fog out there. It'll start to break up here a little bit later on once the sun really starts to get up and melting some of those clouds. But right now, visibility about a half a mile in Orange and then 0 up in Jasper. Beaumont, not bad, 10 miles visibility, in Port Arthur about 8 miles. But if you're driving around this morning, heading off to work, just give yourself a little extra time and make sure you take care out in those foggier spots. Also, you'll want to have the jacket as you walk out the door. Temperatures this morning are in the 40s, 47 in Beaumont and Port Arthur, 46 right now in Woodville, Silsbee and Jasper's at 45, Kirbyville's at 42, and then Orange currently showing about 43. We'll jump to the 50s by 9 a.m., upper 60s at lunchtime, close to 70, and then into the lower 70s for this afternoon. About 72 to 73 for this afternoon as far as highs, with south winds at 5 to 10. So a nice warm afternoon. We'll continue to see some warm afternoons until we hit close to about Thursday or Friday, and then we'll see a cold front come through. We'll talk about that coming up in weather.
All right, thank you, Jeff. For the first time in state history, a police officer is going to trial for his actions or inactions during a mass school shooting. Jury selection begins today in the trial of a former Uvalde CISD police officer, Adrian Gonzalez. 12 News reporter Derek Jones following this in studio.
Tia, Gonzalez and the former school police chief have been criminally charged in the Robb Elementary shooting that left 19 children and 2 teachers dead, and more than 500 potential jurors have been summoned. Gonzalez faces 29 felony counts of abandoning or endangering a child. Investigators say he was among the first officers to respond to Robb Elementary while gunfire was still being reported, but prosecutors allege he did not keep moving toward the shooter. Instead, surveillance video shows Gonzalez retreated and did not re-enter to confront the gunman, even as officers continued to hear gunshots and children remained inside.
You have the duty to respond, to act, and try to eliminate the threat because, again, lives are at risk.
A critical incident review later found the gunman was wrongfully described as barricaded or contained at least 24 times during the response. Prosecutors argue that the decisions cost lives. Gonzalez's trial is the first of 2 in connection to the mass shooting. Former Uvalde CISD Police Chief Pete Arredondo is also expected to stand trial at a later date. In studio, Derek Jones, 12 News.
Thank you, Derek. We will have gavel-to-gavel coverage of the trial starting today on 12 News Plus. You'll be able to watch the trial at any time on our stream. Download the app on your TV and watch for free. Here at home, a Winnie man is set to be sentenced today for a deadly hit and run that killed Christian Sykes in 2023. Tristan Dunham pled guilty to manslaughter and accident involving death. Investigators say he slammed his pickup into the back of Sykes' SUV on Highway 73, causing it to flip several times. They say he then left the scene after another vehicle picked him up. Under plea agreement, he faces 3 years in prison, followed by 10 years probation. He must also pay child support for the victim's child. A warning, this video may be difficult to watch. Beaumont police have named a suspect in an assault on an IHOP employee over the weekend. It happened around 6 Saturday morning at the restaurant on East X Freeway. The victim was headed into work. 12 News was exclusively given that surveillance video from IHOP district manager. You can see the woman walking up to the front doors when William Miller asks her for a cigarette. When she told him she didn't have one, he hit her. Police say Miller was arrested Saturday night on an unrelated charge. We're told any formal charges related to the assault will be pursued through the Jefferson County DA's office. Now to former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro's capture today. He and his wife will face a federal judge. They're expected to be arraigned on drug trafficking and narco-terrorism related charges. Venezuela's interim leader, acting President Delcy Rodriguez, posted a message on Instagram last night asking President Trump to collaborate, saying she's looking for respectful relations. It's a dramatic shift in tone after first demanding Maduro's release. People across the country are speaking out, some in protest, others hopeful this will be good for Venezuelans. Troy Kless with our sister station has more from the Houston area.
In the crowd at the corner of Post Oak and Westheimer, there are several voices like Elizabeth Peters.
I feel really strongly about how there should be no more U.S. interference in Venezuela.
Maria, a woman who moved to Houston from Venezuela at 9 years old, thinking of her family.
We just got a call from my uncle, and he said, there are some parts of Caracas that don't have power right now.
She says with Nicolas Maduro currently in custody, she has a new sense of hope, though there is uncertainty.
A lot of people that are really hopeful, but they're also really scared to share that hope in the streets.
On the streets of Houston, protest organizers believe the U.S. involvement in Venezuela will have economic and political consequences.
We feel that if Trump has the power to just kidnap a head of state and bring him back to a foreign country, what does that mean for the rest of us?
The same day of the protest against Maduro's capture, in Katy, home to one of the country's largest Venezuelan communities, they feel differently.
You have Venezuelans all around the world that are celebrating Nicolas Maduro's capture. I mean, how do you, kind of balance and react to that?
Yeah, I think it's important to remember that just like in the United States, we have diverse opinions. Large portion of the population did support him, and those are the voices that we never hear in the media. So obviously we think we should represent all voices, but in particular those who support Maduro are always lost.
No new war! Back in Houston, people like Maria hoping to inform others of her perspective.
I understand people that are only American, and they say, oh, I don't want the U.S., involved in other countries. And I understand that, but as somebody who is Venezuelan, I think it's more nuanced than that.
But to Peters, things seem clear-cut.
It is amazing for the Venezuelan people to no longer be under the Maduro regime. It is insane that that Trump thought that we are the people who have to go in and do that.
Peters hoping for a resolution that allows for a democracy fair for Venezuela's people.
That was Troy Kless reporting. Now to some of your other top headlines from across Texas. 2 people are recovering after being stabbed at the San Antonio Zoo Saturday evening. Police say a man in his 30s pulled out a knife and stabbed 2 men trying to stop a fight. The victims are 17 and 30. Police say the investigation is ongoing. Meanwhile, the family of Texas A&M grad Sydney Marquez says they made contact with her. She'd been missing for weeks, but someone recognized her Friday and called police. Video shows officers speaking with Marquez, but ultimately letting her go before her family could arrive. Police said they didn't have the legal criteria for an emergency detention order. The Crowd reporting overnight that she's home safe with her family. Across the nation, Ohio police now asking for the public's help finding a killer after a couple was found dead in their home. Ryan Chandler has more.
The shocking murders of an Ohio dentist and his wife are still shrouded in mystery as their family pushes for justice.
We're all still in shock and obviously angry and just trying to piece this together.
Columbus parents Spencer and Monique Tepe found shot to death in the home where they were married and raising their 1- and 4-year-old children. Police found their bodies last Tuesday during a welfare check after Spencer's co-worker said he didn't show up to work.
We're very, very concerned because this is very out of character. And we can't get in touch with his wife, which is probably the more concerning thing.
About an hour later, another 911 call outside the house.
I can hear kids inside, and I swear I think I heard one yell, but we can't get in.
Minutes after that, this call from a friend.
He appears dead. There's blood. He's laying next to his bed, off of his bed, and there's blood. I can't get closer to see more than that.
According to the police report, 3 spent 9mm casings were found at the scene. Their 2 children still inside, unharmed. Police say there were no signs of forced entry, and they're now urging the public to share any information, asking for any video captured in the area between 2 and 5 a.m. Tuesday. And as the community struggles to comprehend their death, their family remembering how they lived.
They lived for their children. Their lives became about their children, and sharing their children with all of us and just loving them.
Flowers left outside the family's home this weekend as questions mount. Ryan Chandler, NBC News.
Tomorrow, the former leader of the far-right group, the Proud Boys, and other January 6th assault defendants are set to return to D.C. for a march. It will mark 5 years since the attack on the Capitol. The event is billed as a memorial honoring those who died on or after January 6th. Those defendants were later pardoned by President Trump. Still ahead, the next tech you can expect on top of the old school features when it comes to the new 2026 model cars. Plus, a special pup is finally being recognized for her talents. Meet the dog whose nose has helped solve unique mysteries for a decade. Your trending news coming up.
Share your pics and video with 12 News. Just go to the Near Me tab inside the 12 News Now app and click Share with Us. To the spot welders and forklift drivers. To the pipeline technicians and plant operators. To the chemists, custodians, and contractors. And the engineers, pilots, and wellhead pumpers. To the people working day after day, keeping our Power City rolling, 12 News is telling your stories.
Extended the temporary restraining order.
When industry news breaks, we're on the front lines, digging into the issue, filtering out rumors, and giving you the facts, direct from inside sources.
Lamar is working to protect Power City from hackers.
Taking on the story from all sides and all angles with award-winning coverage.
The company filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
Southeast Texas is a Power City, and we're bringing the power to you. 12 News, putting Southeast Texas first.
As Texans, we have many reasons to be proud of the Lone Star State. Showing our pride by saying, "Don't mess with Texas," means we gotta step up, walk the walk. Do our part to keep Texas clean. Because after all these years, all these miles, all these traditions, for all us Texans, "Don't mess with Texas" means don't litter.
It's time to honor our local educators with the 12 News Golden Apple Awards. Once a month, 12 News will surprise an educational staff member who has gone above and beyond to make a positive impact on the lives of Southeast Texas students. Nominate your educator by going to 12newsnow.com/Golden Apple to do your part in showcasing the heroes that make a difference both inside and outside the classroom. The Golden Apple Awards every month on 12 News.
From Dallas to Houston, San Antonio to Austin, it's the news that moves all of Texas. Texas News Now. One power-packed hour with enough Texas news to fill a 10-gallon hat. Your top headlines, weather alerts, and big travel updates. No matter where you're headed, across town or across the state, we've got Texas covered. Texas News Now, weekdays noon, only on 12 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Welcome back. Skies are starting to lighten up as the sun's getting ready to come up. Here's the view down towards Port Arthur on our Roofing 911 Live Skycam network. This camera brought to you by Market Basket. And not too foggy down there. Well, visibilities look pretty good as we look down towards the Port Arthur area with just a few high clouds around. You can see visibilities now starting to lighten up in Port Arthur at 10 miles. Same deal in Beaumont, but still showing about a half a mile visibility in Orange and 0 up in Jasper. That's where the thickest fog has been for this morning. It is chilly. You'll need the jacket if you haven't headed out the door already. Temperatures right now about 46 in Silsbee, also 46 in Woodville, 46 in Port Arthur. Jasper's at 45, Kirbyville at 42, Orange at 43, and then 47 right here in Beaumont. As far as any rain, nothing on radar for this morning. Not expecting anything for the next few days. We do see a chance of rain come into play. It looks like Thursday into Friday as the front pushes through. And looks like, to me, the best chance of rain is going to be probably on Friday as that front actually goes through the area. And we'll see a cooler weekend thanks to the front. But until then, we'll warm up each day. We'll be in the 70s today, lower 70s and upper 70s towards the middle part of the week. But for this morning, we'll see temperatures getting up close to the lower 60s by 10 o'clock as we head towards lunchtime, just close to 70 and then into the lower 70s for the afternoon, around 72 to maybe 74 for later on today. 60s back into this evening, and with cloud cover moving back in, maybe a little bit more patchy fog heading in towards tomorrow morning. We'll see temperatures anywhere from around 60 here in the Triangle to some upper 50s in the lake. So no rain expected today, just partly cloudy skies, south winds at 5 to 10, and temperatures anywhere from 70 to about 74. For tonight, we'll see a lot of 50s, a lot of upper 50s, but we'll also see a few 60s here thrown in around the Triangle down towards the coast with a light south wind and, like I said, some of that patchy fog. 7-day forecast shows higher temperatures for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday will be in the upper 70s. Morning lows only around the 60s, so much warmer the next few mornings. And then here comes that front Thursday into Friday. With that front, about a 40% chance of rain. That's probably our best bet there on Friday. And then on the back side of the front, we'll see cooler conditions come in. Our average high this time of year, 63, and we'll be a lot closer to that for Saturday and Sunday with lows into the 40s on Saturday morning and into the middle to upper 30s on Sunday morning. So Sunday morning is going to be cold.
And if we do get that rain on, I think it was Friday,
yep.
Is that what we need, or we could use a lot more?
Well, since we officially started over,
yeah, we are right.
We're not that far behind for the year.
For the year.
If you add last year to it, we're
way behind.
Yeah, we're over a foot behind. So, yeah. So we definitely could use some more rain for sure.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Well, just a reminder, you can download our app at any time to get the latest on the weather. Check the radar by going to the radar tab in the app. We have a traffic alert for drivers in Jefferson County. Expect daily alternating lane closures on Twin City Highway from Hogaboom Road to Highway 73. These will last through tomorrow, January 6th. Contractors will be working on an overlay project between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Automakers are hoping to get us all back into the driver's seat in a brand new car in the new year. 2026 is bringing some new tech as well as bringing back features our parents enjoyed. Here's ABC's Danny New.
In the era of cars with touchscreen interfaces, do you ever miss just when you could hit a physical button and turn on the radio?
When you're driving, you like to just know, oh, this is the AC button, not to look at a screen, which you can't really feel. You see with your fingers when you're driving, Ed.
Sure, absolutely.
Ed Kim here is the president of Auto Pacific, an automotive market research and consulting firm. As we preview big changes in automobiles and technology in 2026, he says companies will be responding to consumer complaints about cars' reliance on screens.
They're bringing back physical controls, real buttons, real knobs, real switches back into vehicles.
We also talked about the continuing effort to make electric vehicles sound a little more like vroom vroom. For example, Porsche's new Cayenne Electric will feature sound technology to make the car sound like it has a roaring engine. And in fact,
Sport Mode delivers by sharpening the handling, powertrain responsiveness, and engine sound.
Hybrids will also start to incorporate this concept more too, like the new Honda Prelude.
It simulates the sound and performance of an 8-speed automatic transmission with gear changes and all that sort of stuff, even though the Prelude actually doesn't even have a transmission.
Meanwhile, we knew at some point AI would be making a cameo in here. Ed says automakers like Rivian will be using AI to power their semi-autonomous driving features in big ways. While he says Tesla's uses mostly AI and cameras for detection, Rivian's will also incorporate radar and later in 2026, LiDAR. LiDAR is like radar, but with lasers. Meanwhile, the robo-taxi service Waymo has been working on expanding beyond largely California and Arizona in cities such as Miami, Dallas, Houston, and Orlando. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
All right, it is time for your trending news. A video is trending online this morning out of Long Island after an 8-year-old boy was rescued from an icy pond. And it happened on Christmas Day. Police body cam footage shows officers rescuing Tavian from the freezing water outside of an apartment complex. A highway sergeant was able to drop onto his stomach, slide across the fragile ice, and pull him to safety. Smart move there. Tavian reunited with the officers who saved his life over the weekend, and he's doing just fine. Says he learned an important lesson. Don't walk on ice. Happy they were there to rescue him. Well, speaking of ice, a hockey dad in Wisconsin is getting a ton of attention for going beyond the extra mile for his son's team. If you've ever played sports as a kid, this one might make you a little jealous. That's because the dad built a massive ice rink in his backyard, and it looks like a whole lot of fun. It's not just for his son, it's for his son's entire hockey team, which he coaches. It's 80 feet by 40 feet and brings a ton of joy to the whole community. And get this, the kids' parents are getting an extra treat. There's a deck with a fire pit beside the rink so they can watch their kids play. Two birds with one stone. All right. If you own a dog, you probably believe he or she is the best dog in the world, right? And basically all of you are right. But this morning, we're hearing about one special pup that can do more with her nose than most dogs could ever dream of doing. And she's finally being recognized for her decade of service. Here's Danny New with her story.
Even for a dog as disciplined and decorated as Maple,
people have been amazed at her enthusiasm, energy, and how exhausting she is.
For nearly a decade now, Dr. Sue Staskill has been working alongside this English Springer Spaniel, who will actually be recognized in a few weeks for winning one of the American Kennel Club's annual awards for canine excellence. She was selected out of nearly 700 dogs.
She does whatever I ask her to do, and she does it with such enthusiasm and finesse.
And Maple has applied that enthusiasm to the many phases of her career.
Those are moving.
First off, she served as something the Heffermans on King of Queens could have used, called a bedbug detection dog.
Search.
Then Maple spent years working with the St. Joseph County Sheriff's Office in Michigan, using her nose to solve cold cases. But now, retired from the force and in her golden years, Maple has been spending the past year and a half working to save the bug you might be scared of, but really need: honeybees.
She's not the first one, but it's the first one that has been documented. And there you are.
Teaming up with researchers at Michigan State, Sue has been training Maple to find a certain highly contagious bacteria that can be quite destructive to a hive. As you can see in research conducted this past summer, Maple even got to rock her own beekeeping suit. And now Sue is working on the finishing touches for a training guide that can help train other dogs to track down this bacteria. According to U.S. Fish and Wildlife, it is estimated that as much as 35% of the world's food crops depend on animal pollinators to reproduce. So thank you for your nasal service, Maple.
She's just an incredible dog.
So Sue says her training guide with Michigan State should be coming this spring or maybe summer, and then maybe you can train your dog to track down the Panobacillus larvae, is what it's called, I think. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
All right, it's 7:22. Taking a live look outside from our Roofing 911 Skycam network. Jeff will be right back with that forecast.
This is a tornado on the ground.
And the roads are slippery.
We have a tropical storm warning.
Look at this water.
Street flooding in Beaumont.
It is going to get extremely cold.
The metal building blew away from a business. Staying safe behind the wheel is imperative.
Find a safe spot, move to an interior room.
Just make sure you're staying safe.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on 12 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
The STEM fields are providing opportunity to be part of the developments that will shape the future, and the Army National Guard is at the forefront of the movement. Soldiers can serve part-time and choose from dozens of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics jobs, working with cutting-edge technology and innovations. And the skills and experience they receive can open doors for them to civilian careers in the STEM world. Join a team that is taking the lead in STEM by talking to a local recruiter or by going to nationalguard.com/careers.
It's time to honor our local educators with the 12 News Golden Apple Awards. Once a month, 12 News will surprise an educational staff member who has gone above and beyond to make a positive impact on the lives of Southeast Texas students. Nominate your educator by going to 12newsnow.com/Golden Apple to do your part in showcasing the heroes that make a difference both inside and outside the classroom. The Golden Apple Awards every month on 12 News.
No matter where we start,
Every mile brings us closer. And as Texans, we take care of each other along the way. We lend a hand, slow down, and take our time. At the end of the day, we all want to get home safe. Drive like a Texan. Kind, courteous, and safe.
We're working to get more information from Beaumont Police.
Join 12 News weekdays at 6 and 10 p.m., keeping you informed on what matters most.
And keep you safe when weather impacts your day.
Following the excitement with your team.
Covering local issues that matter in your community.
Watch 12 News at 6 and 10 p.m. and stream on 12 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
The wait is almost over for the first new state park to open in Texas in 25 years. Palo Pinto Mountain State Park is about 80 miles southwest of Fort Worth. Visitors can fish, swim, and birdwatch, and the terrain is similar to the hill country. Construction started in 2021. Park leaders say it'll open sometime this year.
Outside it's chilly as you walk out the door. Temperatures in the 40s right now. 46 in Beaumont and Port Arthur, 44 in Orange. Up in Deweyville, Guy reporting temperatures there in the lower 40s. 47 in Woodville, Travis reporting 45 right now in Jasper. Along the coast today, we're looking at a south wind at 5 to 10 knots, seas only about a foot. Next high tides 2:18 this afternoon, then we'll see another one at 5:59 later on this evening. Our sunrise, we passed that at 7:13. Our sunsets at 5:31. You can see right now winds are pretty light at Texas Point. Water temperature at 65 with a light chop on the inland lakes and bays today.
Coming up on Daybreak on 12 News Plus, Beaumont police name a suspect in a weekend assault on an IHOP employee. See the chilling video next. Plus, the trial begins for former Uvalde CISD officer Adrian Gonzalez. How prosecutors say he failed the victims during the Robb Elementary School shooting. And the world watching and waiting after Venezuela's president was captured. The challenges America could face as President Nicolas Maduro and his wife face a U.S. judge today. And it is now 7:27 on your Monday morning. Looking at those foggy skies in Jasper. We'll be back in a few minutes. Thank you for waking up with us here on 12 News Plus. I'm Tia Johnson. We want to bring your attention to some breaking news. A fatal crash has been reported near Highway 124 and Galding Road between Cheek and Fernet. Details are limited right now. We don't know yet what led up to this wreck, but we do know 2 cars were involved. Our 12 News crew was on scene. If you're traveling in that area, expect traffic delays. We'll keep you updated on air and online as we learn more. Switching gears now to check in on our weather. A beautiful look at the skies there in Port Arthur. But Jeff, if we were to look at that sky cam in Jasper, we still see some fog right now.
Yeah, visibility still there, reporting around 0. So fog's pretty thick in Jasper. Be careful up there, that whole 190 corridor, especially as you head over towards Newton, up towards Burkeville. You're going to be running into some pretty thick fog, so be careful there. Around the Triangle, not too bad. Still orange, looking a little foggy at 1.5 miles visibility, but Port Arthur, as we just showed you on the camera, looks good. 10 miles visibility and about 5-mile visibility here in Beaumont. It is chilly. If you're not getting the fog, you're definitely going to be running into some chilly temperatures out the door. 46 right now in Silsbee, Beaumont, and Port Arthur. 45 in Woodville and Jasper. Kirbyville's at 42 and Orange at 44. We'll warm up into the middle 50s at 9 a.m., upper 60s at noon, and then we'll level out in the lower 70s for later on this afternoon, expecting highs around 72 to about 74 today, with just some partly cloudy skies and south winds at 5 to 10. Should be dry through at least Wednesday, maybe a couple of showers on Thursday, but maybe Friday we could get some miserable rainfall as a front comes through. We'll talk about that coming up in weather.
And the time now is 7:31. Let's take a look at your top stories this morning. Tomorrow, the former leader of the far-right group, the Proud Boys, and other January 6th assault defendants are set to return to D.C. for a march. It will mark 5 years since the attack on the Capitol. The event is billed as a memorial, honoring those who died on or after January 6th. The defendants set to take part in tomorrow's march were later pardoned by President Trump. A man and his dog are without a home after it was destroyed in a fire in Orange Saturday. This happened on Orange Avenue. Firefighters told our crew at the scene they arrived to find the home fully engulfed in flames and smoke. The homeowner told us he wasn't home at the time and says his neighbor rescued his dog. The cause of the fire is being investigated. And the city of Beaumont has received enough water samples to test in order to fulfill a state and federal mandate. It's part of an effort to learn more about water lines made with copper and lead. Officials confirmed 92 of the 100 samples so far are below the 90th percentile. The findings are available through Texas Drinking Water Watch or the city's annual water quality report. For the first time in state history, a police officer is going to trial for his actions or inactions during a mass school shooting. Jury selection begins today in the trial of former Uvalde school police officer Adrian Gonzalez. 12 News reporter Derek Jones is in studio with what we can expect. Hey, Derek.
Hey, Tia. Gonzalez and the former school police chief have been criminally charged in the Robb Elementary shooting that left 19 children and 2 teachers dead, and more than 500 potential jurors have been summoned. Gonzalez faces 29 felony counts of abandoning or endangering a child. Investigators say he was among the first officers to enter Robb Elementary while gunfire was still being reported, but prosecutors allege he did not keep moving toward the shooter. Instead, surveillance video shows Gonzalez retreated and did not re-enter to confront the gunman, even as officers continued to hear gunshots and children remained inside. Defense attorneys are expected to argue that Gonzalez's failings aren't crimes.
I'm the defense. Where I'm going to argue is falling short of the mark is not a crime. Even being a coward is not a crime.
A critical incident review later found the gunman was wrongfully described as barricaded or contained at least 24 times during the response. Prosecutors argue the decisions cost lives. Gonzalez's trial is the first of 2 in the connection to the mass shooting. Former Uvalde CISD Police Chief Pete Arando is also expected to stand trial at a later date. In studio, Derek Jones, 12 News.
Thank you, Derek, and we will have gavel-to-gavel coverage of the trial starting today on 12 News Plus. You'll be able to watch the trial at any time on our stream. Download the app on your TV and watch for free. 2 people are dead and a child is in custody after a shooting near Round Rock over the weekend. Deputies arrived to find 2 men shot and a child barricaded inside a room. The Williamson County Sheriff's Office says they got a 911 call early Saturday morning to respond to a house on Brushy Gate Cove. The sheriff's office says the county SWAT team and negotiators responded, and the child peacefully surrendered. Authorities haven't released either victim's name yet, and the child's name won't be released because they are minor. Investigators believe this was an isolated incident. A Houston restaurant speaking out after hidden cameras were found in one of its bathrooms. Police say the camera was installed last Tuesday at Lupe Tortilla in Hedwig Village and was found less than an hour later by an employee. Authorities say it recorded a woman and a young girl, but also captured images of the person who installed it. The suspect has been identified as 31-year-old Basin Elias Pugh, who was an employee at the restaurant. He now faces a felony charge for invasive visual recording and has an ICE hold for allegedly using fake IDs.
Thankfully, it was only recording for about 30 minutes. It was motion activated, is what my investigators told me later. So it was not recording for the full 30 minutes. If someone came into the restroom, it would pick up activity.
In a statement, Lupe Tortilla said it's, quote, grateful to the team members and managers whose attentiveness and quick action helped bring the matter to the attention of authorities. A Winnie man is set to be sentenced today for a deadly hit and run that killed Christian Sykes in 2023. Tristan Dunham pled guilty to manslaughter and accident involving death. Sykes was the technical director for Lamar University's Department of Theater and Dance. Investigators say Dunham slapped his pickup truck into the back of Sykes' SUV on Highway 73, causing it to flip several times. We're told Dunham left the scene after another vehicle picked him up. Under a plea agreement, he faces 3 years in prison, followed by 10 years probation. He must also pay child support for the victim's child. Here's a warning. This video may be difficult to watch. Beaumont police have named a suspect in an assault on an IHOP employee over the weekend. It happened around 6 Saturday morning at the restaurant on East X Freeway. The victim was headed to work, and 12 News was exclusively given the surveillance video from IHOP district manager. You can see the woman walking up to the front door when William Miller allegedly asks her for a cigarette. When she told him she didn't have one, he hit her. Police say Miller was arrested Saturday night on an unrelated charge. They say any formal charges related to the assault will be pursued through the Jefferson County DA's office. The world is watching and waiting to see what's next for Venezuela, from drug trafficking to the oil industry to political instability. There's no shortage of challenges there. Here's ABC's Allison Cossack.
From South Florida to Madrid, Spain, to Bogota, Colombia, a mix of celebration and opposition to the capture of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. Now, questions about Venezuela's future.
There is Venezuela, and in normal times, tens of thousands of Venezuelans cross this border to buy goods here that they can't get back home. Now, though, it's a path perhaps to a new future for the millions of people who've been forced into exile.
Como dicen, sentimientos encontrados.
You get the sense that people don't really know how to feel. Happy that Maduro's gone, but they have no idea what's going to happen next.
Nicolas Maduro came to power after Hugo Chavez died in 2013, tightening his grip on the country despite not winning elections outright. More than 50 countries refuse to recognize him as the legitimate president. Now, with his capture, some analysts fear more instability in the short term.
In becoming more destabilized, we could actually see an increase in the flow of drugs coming to the United States.
Maduro's vice president, Delcy Rodriguez, is now interim leader. Overnight, President Trump said she is cooperating with the U.S. Trump saying Venezuela will have elections at the right time. Edmundo Gonzalez, the exiled president-elect, is urging Venezuelans to follow the rule of law and unite. Whoever the next leader is, the oil industry will play a major role in shaping the country's future. Venezuela has the largest supply of oil reserves in the world, a supply American companies tapped for decades. But after Venezuela nationalized its oil industry, output plummeted. Getting significant production back online won't be easy.
The task alone is a massive one and would be a very expensive one for any company to undertake.
Allison Cossack, ABC News, New York.
Some Americans are navigating how to get home after their flights in the Caribbean were canceled over the weekend. The U.S. military action that led to Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro's capture also closed airspace and left thousands of people stranded at the end of the busy holiday period. Sunday, the FAA lifted restrictions on flights around Caribbean airspace, but some people are still stuck. Taylor Lamori is a nurse from Minnesota. She and her family left for their trip on December 26th. They were supposed to leave Barbados January 3rd, but woke up to find out their flight was canceled. Delta's plan didn't have them returning home until the 11th, so they booked a private commercial flight and hoped to be home late Wednesday night.
At the end of a trip, I'm just so ready to go home, and just be told like, hey, you actually are not going home and we don't know when you're going to be going home is super anxiety inducing.
Delta says it's added more than 2,600 seats through extra flights across its Caribbean network for today, but there could be some delays. The airline says it's working to reaccommodate all customers by Tuesday. There's a travel waiver for customers traveling to or from the 13 airports through January 6th. Even though flights have resumed, but some Atlantans are still stranded after an airspace shutdown. Caitlin Ross reports.
Woke Liz Kuhn and Alex Height up in San Martin.
And it was a Delta alert that everything was canceled. So I woke him up at 5 o'clock in the morning saying, we have problems, but we didn't know it was Venezuela.
With 2 laptops open, they scrambled to get their family back home.
5:30 in the morning on Saturday, the soonest available was Wednesday. So for us, staying a couple extra days, not a big deal, but for other people, huge deal. No rooms.
While their airline honored the price of their ticket, they say families stuck traveling are stuck with the bill.
We're still paying for food. We're still paying for the room.
Mm-hmm.
I extended our rental car and stuff like that. Those are all costs that we were not expecting to have to do.
While they were fortunate to book a hotel till midweek, they say many other Americans traveling with them aren't so lucky.
And they have to check in every morning. They think they're going to be getting out on Tuesday. They have to check in every morning to see, are they allowed to keep their room?
Yes.
So that the people coming in from the States are coming in.
They don't know where they're going to go, and they're a family of 5.
Well, crawfish is making an early appearance this year. We'll tell you why coming up. Also up next, Shaping Young Minds one lesson at a time. This month's Golden Apple Award recipient goes to a math interventionist. What makes her stand out?
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things.
You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too, and that's why we did something about it.
We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers.
We are normal people just like you.
And together, we can make a difference.
Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
409 Sports. To us, it's about so much more than a highlight, wins or losses.
It's the heart that makes up the game, the triumph of the human spirit.
It's agony and victory, diehards and day ones. It can divide or unify a community.
We give you the stats, but then we inspire you with the stories. The unpredictable, unforgettable, and incomparable.
We bring it to you all because sports lives in the 409.
As Texans, we have many reasons to be proud of the Lone Star State. Showing our pride by saying, don't mess with Texas, means we gotta step up, walk the walk. Do our part to keep Texas clean. Because after all these years, all these miles, all these traditions, for all us Texans, don't mess with Texas means don't litter.
It's hard to really come to terms with dementia. There are little things that you can't even begin to plan for that happen that you need the early diagnosis for. My mom has done so much for me. There's no way that I wouldn't do the same for her. It's so important to have the conversation with your doctor earlier because you just do not know what the future holds.
Are you at the mercy of your bladder? If leaks are keeping you from living your best life, you should know that it doesn't have to be that way. Incontinence can be treated. Don't wait to get the help you deserve. The National Association for Continence is a nonprofit organization that's helped millions get on the path to a life without leaks. Visit nafc.org now to download your free pelvic floor muscle training kit and become the boss of your bladder.
Outside, it's chilly this morning. We've also been seeing some fog around the area. You can see some of that over towards the Horseman's Western Store in Orange, right there on Interstate 10, as we watch the traffic go through. But there are some foggy spots, so be careful this morning. It seems like around Orange and also up in towards the lakes area was where some of the heaviest fog's been. Around the downtown area here in Beaumont, not looking bad at all as far as fog. This is a view from Packard LaPrade on our Roofing 911 Live Skycam network, and we're currently showing about 51 downtown. Winds are out of the east at about 3 miles an hour. Here are current visibilities up in the lakes. Like I said, visibilities are fairly low, 0 there. 0.8 of a mile in Orange, 10 in Port Arthur, and 2 miles in Beaumont right now. Temperature are into the middle to lower 40s, anywhere from 42 in Kirbyville to about 44 in Beaumont. Then Orange, Jasper, Woodville's at about 45, and then Silsbee and Port Arthur currently showing 46. And pretty quiet. There's not much going on as far as radar. Matter of fact, there's nothing on radar, but we do have some clouds spilling across the area along with some of that fog that's popped up. Fog should burn off pretty quickly here. Give it a little while towards the lakes area where the thicker stuff is, but by 10 o'clock we'll be in the upper 50s, upper 60s by lunch, and then we'll get into the 70s today. So a good 5, 6, 7 degrees warmer than yesterday across the area, with temperatures from the lower to middle 70s. We'll back off into the 60s for this evening, and we'll stay pretty much right around 60 degrees here in the Triangle towards tomorrow morning, and we'll get back into some upper 50s towards the lake. So today we're going to go partly cloudy with those south winds at 5 to 10, and anywhere from about 70 to 74 as far as morning or afternoon highs, and then morning lows for tomorrow morning. We'll be back into the 50s for a good portion of the area, and right around 60 from I-10 southward. As we look at our 7-day forecast, warmer on Tuesday and Wednesday will be in the upper 70s, and even Thursday will go 77, so that's considered upper 70s there. And then we'll see a front come through. That front brings us maybe a couple of showers on Thursday, about a 40% coverage though as we head towards Friday. So hopefully we'll get some measurable rainfall. We need some rain. And on the backside of that front, we'll start to cool off again. Temperatures go from the 70s to lower 60s. We'll barely get to about 60 degrees on Sunday, 61 on Saturday. Chilly start on Saturday morning to 46, and a cold start on Sunday back into the middle to upper 30s.
I like how when it does get cold, we get a little break and then it comes again, you know, because you from the Midwest, I live there, it's no breaks.
No, it's cold all the time.
At all times. So I'm happy we get a nice break from it.
Yeah, we live that close to the Gulf Coast, so you know these fronts come through, they cool us off for a while, then we warm up a little bit. It's a trend in the summer, in the winter time, which is good, you know. Keeps us on our toes.
And it keeps you with the job.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you, Jeff. All right, it is now 7:47. Crawfish, mudbugs, crawdads, whatever you call it, their favorite seasonal dish, and it feels like that season is starting a little earlier this year. It actually is. I've already had some crawfish. Experts say conditions are lining up for an early start and a potentially longer crawfish season. Businesses across Texas say crawfish are showing up weeks ahead of schedule. The season typically runs from mid-January through June, and that early arrival has boilers and fans alike excited.
You want the weather to be warm, but you also want them cold fronts to come through, and gives them their cycle, which, you know, the more cycles they have, the bigger they get.
It was $14 a pound when we first started out getting it, and this year it's at around 11, but it'll be going down here pretty soon.
Those conditions could mean better size and quality. They add that lack of workers could still impact farmers, businesses, and consumers, even as prices have stabilized around $11 a pound. Shaping young minds, one lesson at a time. This month's Golden Apple Award recipient goes to Mary Broussard, a math interventionist at Little Cypress Intermediate.
And 12 has 1 10 and 2 1s, right?
Math isn't always easy.
I have kids who come back to me and say, you know, when I was in your class, I started hating math or thinking I couldn't do it. I was just horrible at math. It wasn't my thing.
3 to 15.
Let's do a 2.
But with Mary Broussard on your side, it starts to make sense.
And they thank me because they think I had a lot to do with it when they just needed confidence in themselves.
Broussard has been teaching for 23 years, 7 of them at Little Cypress Intermediate.
And they send me emails and they send me notes telling me I just aced my Algebra 1 test, or I just aced this, or I'm understanding everything this year.
Her dedication didn't go unnoticed. Fellow teacher Jamie Summers saw the extra time, patience, and heart she brings into the classroom and nominated Broussard for the Golden Apple Award.
Miss Broussard, how are you? You've been selected as a recipient of the 12 News Golden Apple Award. So we just wanted to present your award to you, and guess what? We have another special guest who showed up for this. So I know we caught you off guard, but how does it feel to know that someone nominated you for this?
Absolutely fantastic.
It is so long overdue for Mary to be recognized. She just does not ask for any recognition. She comes quietly every day and just does gold in her room, and no one knows.
And her son was also there to make it count.
First I was surprised, but in reality not too surprised at all. I feel like awards like this are long overdue for Mom.
Congratulations, Ms. Broussard. And don't stop sending us those nominations for the Golden Apple Award. It can be a driver, administrator, counselor, anyone who works in education. Go to 12newsnow.com/Golden Apple to let us know who you think should be our next recipient. When Daybreak returns on 12 News Plus, we'll have more news and weather in your morning rush hour.
From Dallas to Houston, San Antonio to Austin, it's the news that moves all of Texas. Texas News Now. One power-packed hour with enough Texas news to fill a 10-gallon hat. Your top headlines, weather alerts, and big travel updates. No matter where you're headed, across town or across the state, we've got Texas covered. Texas News Now. Weekdays, noon. Only on 12 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
To the spot welders and forklift drivers, to the pipeline technicians and plant operators, to the chemists, custodians, and contractors, and the engineers, pilots, and wellhead pumpers, to the people working day after day keeping our Power City rolling, 12 News is telling your stories.
Extended the temporary restraining order.
When industry news breaks, we're on the front lines, digging into the issue, filtering out rumors, and giving you the facts, direct from inside sources.
Lamar is working to protect Power City from hackers.
Taking on the story from all sides and all angles with award-winning coverage.
The company filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
Southeast Texas is a Power City, and we're bringing the power to you. 12 News, putting Southeast Texas first.
This is a tornado on the ground.
And the roads are slippery.
We have a tropical storm warning.
Look at this water.
Street flooding in Beaumont.
It is going to get extremely cold.
The metal building blew away from a business.
Staying safe behind the wheel is imperative.
Find a safe spot, move to an interior room.
Just make sure you're staying safe.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on 12 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
No matter where we start, every mile brings us closer. And as Texans, we take care of each other along the way. We lend a hand, slow down, and take our time. At the end of the day, we all want to get home safe. Drive like a Texan. Kind, courteous, and safe.
Welcome back to Daybreak. It is now 7:54. It's time for your morning rush out. Here's everything you need to know as you start your day. Beaumont police named a suspect in an assault on an IHOP employee Saturday. We want to warn you, this may be hard to watch. It happened around 6 a.m. at the East Tex Freeway location as the woman was headed into work. 12 News was exclusively given this surveillance video from IHOP district manager. The woman walked up to the front doors when William allegedly asked her for a cigarette. When she told him she didn't have one, he hit her. Police say Miller was arrested Saturday night on an unrelated charge. They say any formal charges related to the assault will be pursued through the Jefferson County DA's office. Tristan Dunham is set to be sentenced today for a deadly hit and run that killed Christian Sykes in 2023. Dunham pled guilty to manslaughter and accident involving death. Investigators say he slammed his pickup into the back of Sykes' SUV on Highway 73, causing it to flip several times. They also say Dunham left the scene. Under a plea agreement, he faces 3 years in prison and 10 years probation. He must also pay child support for the victim's child. Jury selection is expected to start today for former Uvalde CISD police officer Adrian Gonzalez. He faces 29 felony counts in connection to the deadly 2022 Robb Elementary shooting. The trial was moved from Uvalde to Corpus Christi after Gonzalez's attorneys claimed he wouldn't receive a fair trial in Uvalde County. There will be heightened security at the courthouse throughout the trial, and victims' families will be in the courtroom. 12 News will have gavel-to-gavel coverage starting today on 12 News Plus. Watch the trial at any time on our stream. Download the app on your TV. Watch for free.
And it's chilly this morning. Temperatures are back in the 40s, so grab a jacket before you walk out the door. If you're not heading out to this afternoon, don't need that jacket. We'll be in the 70s. Looks pretty nice for your Monday. Also Tuesday, Wednesday, even warmer. We'll be in the upper 70s. Front comes through late Thursday into Friday with that some scattered showers, and then cooler temperatures come into play Saturday and Sunday with highs around 60 and lows in the 40s and 30s.
We're heading up north for today's Reason to Smile in the Twin Cities area of Minnesota. A nonprofit is making sure everyone stays warm this winter. The organization One Good Deed has volunteers taking part in its 9th annual scarf bombing. That's when they put out scarves, gloves, blankets, and warm clothes across the area's metro parks. They're for anyone who needs one, and this year the warmth bombs filled 760 bags. What? That's a lot of bags.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I hope the right people get those. I don't want people going over and grabbing a bunch and just, you know, free stuff.
It's for people who can't afford it, so they can be bundled up and warm this winter. All right, well, thank you guys so much for watching. Jeff and I will be back here at 11 a.m. for midday.
Have a great afternoon, everybody.